So we were speaking on the phone about we were talking about Broadway Freddy, right?
Okay.
You were talking about his chimp, Susie.
Susie. Great chimp. Great chimp.
Great chimp. Okay, so tell me about Broadway Freddy and his chimp, Susie.
All right. There used to be a connection at the Kennedy Airport for domestic animals that you couldn't get. Somehow we had a connection there. There was this chimp, and Freddie went down there and he wanted the chimp, and he got Susie. Okay. Now, I'm always familiar with Brooklyn, with Foster Avenue, and I think it was Ralph Avenue, crisscross. And at that corner was a Freddie's gas station. Okay, so we got a lot of traffic. Now, Freddie had this big tree in the backyard. So he chained Susie on a foot, right, around a leg. And he had a little fence in, like a little square in the back behind his shop. And people would be driving down the street, and you see this chip climbing down that tree. They thought, what the fuck is that? You know, I can't tell how many people freaked out. But anyhow, let me tell you a story about. First, I'll tell you a story about Freddie and the chip. Freddie used to torture his poor chip, right? Give it all sorts of drugs. One day, for some reason, the chip kid was in the garage. Now, Freddie was, we come in, Chip was in the back by the toolboxes. I don't know what went on in the chip line, but she started grabbing all the wrenches one time. I'm winging him, man. I'm telling you, that chip was strong. Them wrenches were flying. One of them hit Freddie in the mouth, knocked his tooth out. Well, he went ballistic. Finally, when she calmed down, he held it down, he sedated it, he pulled the teeth out. I wanted that. That's not what I wanted to do. I just don't think that we should be cruel to animals because you enticed her to do that. You caused it, you treat her like shit, you know? Freddie had a brother named Blackie, you know? And like I said, she used to have this little pen in the back. She could walk around and stuff, right? Blackie used to go in there, and she used to like to play with this big ball. Every time he rolled it, she'd sit on it, and he'd sneak up behind her and kick it out from beneath, and she'd roll backwards, you know?
So wait, there's another monkey there?
No, just Susie.
Okay.
Blackie's Freddie's brother.
Oh, okay.
All right. And he was a mean son of a bitch, still would have came down with. So he'd throw the ball, he'd watch she sit on it like happy, and he'd sneak up on her, kick the ball out, but she'd roll backwards, you know? He did this for a while. And I'm going to say, I'm watching. I say, Blackie, why are you doing that? He kicked the ball. He hit so hard that he hit the wall on the other side. He came back, right? He went to get it down. Now it's in the corner where he can't go nowhere, right? Well, he turned around. Susie stood up. She was big, man, with her arms up. And she looked at her. He said, oh. And she started pummeling him to fucking death, man. We had to drag her out of there.
Yeah, those things will rip your face off.
Yeah, oh, yeah. She liked me. She grabbed me by the hand, sit down. My father freaked out. She said, don't do that. That chimp likes me. It's okay. So she used to get dressed up with suspenders, a suit, little hat, bow tie, smoking a cigar. She'd drive in my car with me, you know. People used to say, what the fuck?
What year was this, Pete? Around what year?
70s.
70s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She escaped one time, right? And she's running down the street now. Foster Avenue's got a lot of little restaurants on it, right? First time she got away, she hit the Jack in the Box. She went through that Jack in the Box. She was eating hamburgers, eating everything she got her hands on. And then the cops came, you know, the animal chasing it down 80th Street. They couldn't catch her for shit, man. You can't get that chip was hopping fences like she was an athlete.
Wow.
Finally, they coaxed her, they got her. Then the next time she escaped, she went into the Chinese restaurant. And we'll say, where is she? Oh, so all the people come right out of the Chinese restaurant screaming, right? And the chefs and the cooks coming out with the butcher knives trying to catch her, yelling at fucking Chinese, and the chip's just going.
Wow. So you would just let this chimp run around the neighborhood, just like?
No, she got that thing the link. Somehow she got with the chain. I don't know how she did it.
Wow.
But she got with the chain.
Well, yeah, you're right. He should have never had the thing to begin with.
He should have never had it. No, he didn't deserve that.
He was a wild guy, Freddie, huh? Interesting character.
If you want to call it interesting, I think he was a little wacko. You got to remember, Freddie used to walk around with a set of papers in his pocket. I mean, legally papers in his pocket said he was a certified nut. He used to get away with a lot of shit because of the papers.
Really?
I swear, up and down. That's him. You know, he's the type of guy that the cops would come to visit him when he got locked up and show him the indictments or the arrest warrant. He'd sit there and start eating it, you know? I mean...
Did you ever see him race, or you didn't care about any of that?
Yeah, I did see him race. Yeah, I seen him race on Garlics and stuff at where is it? National Speedway out in Long Island.
Was that Riverhead?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was Riverhead. But I'll tell you what, he used to race those dragsters. That were fast cars. I mean, funny cars, fast cars. every once in a while on a Sunday. Check it out. Now Freddie was on Forster and Ralph. Ralph going saying Forster going that way. Now on one side of Forster was all the junkyards, industrials. So they had no side streets. You know what I'm saying? On that side of Forster, that side street, people live, guys coming out. Sunday morning, about 5, 6:30 in the morning, he start that fucking buddy car up and blast it down Forster Avenue until you got to Remsen. I mean, fucking book it. I'm saying, wait, when somebody comes out of the street, yeah, fuck it. And okay.
Yeah, man. So and when did you become aware of Freddie? Was he always just a neighborhood fixture?
Yeah, he was always like a neighborhood gas station guy. Yeah, everybody liked knew Freddie then. Well, you had to, Broadway Freddy today. Everybody was just a racer back then, so everybody kind of knew him.
Right. And I want to ask you something else about Freddie. And Pete, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but so this guy is Broadway Freddy. When he was racing, he called himself DiNome. I guess his real name is DiNome or DiNome, his legal name.
Freddie DiNome.
Right. A neighborhood fixture, gas station guy, liked to race his cars. You said he was a little ubats in the head, I guess.
Yeah, I say that.
So it's one thing to be an eccentric character, Pete, but later on he becomes what you would call a rat, and he admits himself, whether it's true or not, he admits himself to committing what some people would call atrocities, whether they're cutting up bodies or whatever it may be. This is coming from his mouth. Why do you think a person like that would turn into
something like that?
Something like that. And like I said, if you don't want to answer, Peter, I know it has a lot to do with
my feelings. I'm going to tell you my feelings on that. And this pertains to anybody that does that. Okay. All right. Freddie and someone else got arrested for something. They got 5 years each, right? All right. And during the middle of that sentence, right, just like anybody else would be, supposedly his friends come to him and tell him, listen, you're coming off a trial. We don't have money for that. You're going to have to sell your house. You don't tell nobody that's just doing time that's standing up. You know what I mean? So he probably got a little insulted. You know what I'm saying? And he went a little too far. He said, I ain't selling my house. I ain't put my kids on the street. And he went the other way. You know what I mean? Whether he's right or wrong, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? To me, he should have never been approached like that personally. But whatever happened, happened. You know what I mean? That might have been the thing that pushed it.
So you're saying he should have never been approached to be a part of that life in a sense where he got
involved? No, he should have been approached that he should have to. He knows the kind of money that people are making, okay? He should have never been approached that, you might have to sell your house because we got a big case case coming up. You don't tell it to the guy that's in prison, and his wife and kids are out there living in that house, Where's he go from there? You know what I mean? Fuck that, man. I did everything I could. I stood up. I was there. Now you're telling me I got to sell my house when I know these guys are out partying and you got money up the ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
You should take care of me. The old school way was take care of you guys while they were there. You took care of their family and you gave them a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of guys back in the old days didn't become rats because, they knew they could sit there and do the time and their families were taken care of. Today, I had a sad head of mine. But I'm going to tell you, there's a few guys out there that I know for a fact are old school when it comes to that take care of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a catch-22. I mean, don't get me wrong. You should never be a rat. You know what I'm saying? Never. But some things push you over the bed. You got to remember, like I said, he was a bot. So he might have made himself crazy in himself. Say, why do I got to do this? Why are you doing this to me? I can understand that.
Right.
So
no, that's. I'm happy that you answered it that way, Pete. As far as like him becoming an informant, why do you think he became an informant? It's good to hear that side of the story. That maybe there was some financial things, or maybe he might have been done wrong in his own mind. Even though, like you say, that's never an excuse. But what I was really asking you before, Pete, and like I said, you don't have to answer it, but.
Right.
So Broadway Freddy, right? You say he's a neighborhood fixture. He is a little nuts. He's a street guy. He also does racing.
Yeah.
Pete, he admitted to doing some what people would call, some really atrocious acts, right? So what I'm trying to ask you, Pete, is when he admitted to doing those acts, he was kind of already at an advanced age. I mean, 40-something years old. Like, what makes a guy go into doing something like that? Is that Roy DeMeo? What is that, Pete? If you don't
Well,
want to answer, it's fine.
You gotta remember something. How Freddie really got involved was Roy used to go to the gas station all the time, you know. And Freddie was into like pornography and shit like that, you know. And Roy always had a bunch of pornography because of the business he had taken over. And Freddie used to be like, he used to take him and he used to give him Freddie. Freddie used to sell him. And it just went on. Eventually, Roy took a liking to him, I believe, and he helped him out. You know, he became his like he made Freddie like his driver or something to that effect. You know, and with that, Freddie had no teeth. Roy got him teeth. You know, a whole bit. You know what I mean? I guess Freddie like became like a how can I say? He became awed by what was going on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And being treated. You know,
Okay.
Roy treated him good. You know. Freddie did what Roy asked him. That was that. You know,
Okay.
you got to think about that. Now you got to think about Freddie, right? First part of the trial, like you said, he admitted to some atrocities and stuff like that. You know, and you know, we all know what happened to Freddie, right? He was put in a witness protection program out in El Paso, Texas, somewhere where nobody knew God's country, and he was with a roommate. They got to remember something. His roommate was gone for the day work. When he came back, he found Freddie hanging from he had one of those post beds, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Now, you know, in my heart, I want to believe that Freddie did that himself because he felt so guilty what he did, you know.
Right.
But that's me. That's the only way I feel. I mean,
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I could see that. I mean, there's some weird conspiracies out there about Freddie's death. Some people believe that he was into I don't know if you've ever heard of autoerotic asphyxiation. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
no.
That's like, remember David Carradine? Remember when he died in Thailand in the closet?
Oh, yeah?
He had a thing around his neck. They were saying
Oh,
that. Yeah, so some people have this thing where they get off on doing that to themselves and they, you know, touch themselves and they choke themselves. It's a whole thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's a real thing where these people, they cut the circulation off to their head and they like to suffocate themselves. And
it's called
autoerotic asphyxiation. So I've heard of that conspiracy about, I don't know if that came from law enforcement or whoever it was trying to say that they thought that he did something like that and it was an accident.
I can see that. I can see maybe what you're saying. I've heard of that choking shit, you know, helps you.
Yeah.
But why do it? Why? You can't undo what you did. Hanging from, I mean, I sit on the floor to do this shit. You want to put a rope behind your neck and pull one hand and do what you got to do with the other. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. It's good to hear some stuff about Freddie because we don't really talk about him too much.
He was a hell of a mechanic. I'll tell you that. That I know for sure. You know.
Yeah.
I used to bring my cars here once in a while and come out of it. They're perfect. I mean, the guy had a knack for mechanics.
Right. So I got some questions, Pete. You want to go over them?
Yeah, and then after that, I gotta take a break. We gotta come back into that. I'm tired, buddy.
Oh, I know. I know.
I want to go with the questions. I'm curious now.
Yeah, we're gonna do the questions. Questions. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Some of these I can't answer. All right. So this is a guy. This is my buddy King Arthur. I've been friends with him on here for a couple of years. He knew Harvey growing up. He grew up. He knew Harvey's family. So my man King Arthur 4419. Can you ask Pete if he knew Harvey's family as well as the guy Phil across the street with the Corvette on East 52nd Street? Do you remember Phil with the Corvette on East 52nd Street?
Yeah, I lived on 52nd Street, but I knew Harvey's family. I knew his brother Robert. I knew his mom, his dad. All great, good citizens. Let's call it that. They were good citizens. I mean, I was invited to sit, you know, when they had that thing when they put the tent out on the balcony and you go and eat. I mean, they were really, really, really respectable people. And he broke their heart. What can I tell you?
Do you remember a Phil with the Corvette that lived around over there?
Yeah, on 52nd Street.
Okay, so you do remember a Phil. Okay. All right. My friend over here, G78, he's all the way from Ireland, by the way, G78. He had asked a question about dealings with the Westies. I think we kind of just spoke about that. But I wanted to give him a little shout out.
Could you say it again? I didn't hear him. I'm sorry, but
that's okay. It was a guy named, we call him G78. He's actually from Ireland. He's a viewer. And he was asking about the Westies, but we kind of just spoke about that, right?
Tough, crazy crew, I can tell you that.
Yeah. All right, so let's see.
Even the
Let's see.
toughest guys like Montiglio, it's amazing how they both turned out. Both Green Berets, both all of this gun ho shit. Both of them turned out to be big rats. You know.
Yeah. I want to give a special shout out to Pete D. I believe you know Pete D. I believe you were friends with his father, right, Pete? You know the other Pete. Yeah, I think Pete asked the question that I can't ask you, but we want to say hello to Pete D.
Hello, Petey. How's the family? Give me my love, especially Dad. You too, buddy.
My friend Roro. This is
Roro.
She's a really nice woman. She wants to know of all the people, I guess, when you were doing stuff on the street, when you were out there with some of these guys, who do you think you were friendliest with or closest to? Who did you have the best time with, maybe?
Best time with all these guys. I'm going to say two people. One was Anthony, without a doubt. And the other guy's name was Anthony, too. Anthony Stabile.
Anthony Stabile and Anthony Center, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I had fun with them guys. You know, hung out with them. You know, we were just like regular good old street boys then. You know what I mean?
Very cool. Okay, so two Anthonys. Let's see. Any more questions? I'm trying to find. So Tony Collins, 5195. If Pete could go back in time and talk to his younger self, what would he say?
Who's that? Tony?
His name is Tony Collins.
Tony Collins.
I don't know if this is one you know, or there could be another Tony Collins. I don't know.
I don't know. He's an Irish guy. I know that. I'm just not sure how I would know him. Tony Collins.
I don't know if you know him or not. I don't know. He's just somebody that commented.
I wish I did. I'd like to answer that question, but I don't. I really don't. Sorry.
No. No, the person who asked the question, his name is Tony Collins. He's saying if you could go back in time to your younger self, what would you say to yourself?
What would I say? Forget about it. I go right before Woodstock. Right before Woodstock. That'd be me. I had the greatest time like then.
Did you go to Woodstock?
Shit, yeah.
You went to Woodstock 69, the first one?
Oh, yeah. First one. I never went to after the first one, man. Just not,
well, yeah, 94, 99, you know. But you were at Woodstock.
500,000 people. And there's only one person died. And they didn't die from nothing else except the farmer with one of those things, those wheat cutters. Ran him over in his sleeper bag the next day. But you fun. All the restaurants, we was in the valley. Now you got pictures, right? The stage is down there, right? And you're in the valley. And all the restaurants and all these bullshits up on the top of the hill. And when you went up there, it was raining. I can't tell how many times I slid down right between the girls' legs. You couldn't hold your hand, but something like that. It was great.
You said you had pictures?
Huh?
You have pictures, you said?
Yeah, I don't know. My sister might have them. But anyhow, I woke up one morning, right? I was blasted the night before. You know, they would tell you, don't buy the ass from this tent, or don't buy that. That's bad shit. Go over here. Just like that. I woke up one morning. I swear to God, I was tripping. Opened my eyes, right? And I looked, and there was a lake there, right? I was right by the lake. I was there. I said, no way. Every girl in that lake was naked. I said, I'm going back to sleep for a few minutes. And they backed out those eyes. Fuck this. I got up again. Look, I says, holy shit, it's real. They're all naked. But then you got to remember, flowers in your head, a little love child. You know, everything was.
Oh, yeah. Flower power, right?
That's just cool. No flower. Just the only thing was a flower in their hair. Trust me.
So who do you remember seeing there? Who's the best?
Oh, I'll tell you what I do remember. I remember Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner with his feet. You swore on everything you know that
so you were there for that,
was actually singing. Okay. Yeah. And, I mean, it was great. You know, you got to remember, like, a lot of people just flew in that weren't supposed to be there because it turned out to be such a great affair. I mean, you got a lot to see a lot of groups that you never thought you were going to see. It's really good. I really had a great time.
People showed up, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me try to find a couple more, Pete, and then we'll end this. Let's see. Okay, so you kind of spoke about this. I mean, this is from, I believe this is Jesse. Jesse, I think you changed your name recently, but I think Jesse, I think you know who you are. He kind of asked what the vibe was like being around, I guess, a serious person like Roy. Was there like a brotherhood between you guys, or was there any weird vibes? Like, I guess he's trying to say, did you ever get a weird feeling?
Well, you know, I'm going to say more of a brotherhood than vibes. I mean, you know, like I told you once before, you know, anytime you walked in there, you never knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? So you're always on.
Right.
But as far as being with Roy, it was like a family. You know, when we ate down at that, it was like a family dinner. You know, it was really cool. It was like you go to your mom's or your grandmother's on Sunday for dinner. You know what I mean? He'd laugh, bullshit, whatever. You know what I mean? But when she walked out that door, it was holding me and she was right down to serious shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.